Greetings everyone, I'm Jaden Sit from Form 3E, and today thank you very much for tuning in to the Drama Club podcast.
I'm Tolly Chen from 3E as well, and join with us today the ECA Team members, Justin and Koby.
Hello everybody, my name is Justin Chiang. I'm from the ECA committee and I'm the chairman this year.
Hello everybody, I'm Koby Ho, the secretary from ECA Team.
So perhaps let's start with the ECA team itself, and that's the reason why we invited you to here. What are the core founding principles of it, and what inspired you to make so many events?
Well, we're actually just a team of students, passionate students about ECA, and we're here just to facilitate the cooperation and the promotion for ECA in our school. We also do some paperwork. For example, we will look at your yearly proposals, and a good example would also be the ECA Week's proposals.
Yes, I see. I trust it might be difficult to bicker with like several 50 people, around 50 different chairmen from different clubs. You know, Tolly, how about you? Do you have any questions for them?
Maybe let's regard about the ECA Week, as we've just talked about.
Yes.
So in the COVID-19 pandemic, how is everything like mapped out for the ECA Week? Because there are lots of restrictions now, and things make it a little bit more difficult to execute it.
Actually, the students are very creative this year. So because of the pandemic, many events can be held physically, but however, the students are really creative and made many online events to bring out their teams and clubs characteristics. And for example, they host, I remember the math club or something like that, host the Google Forms and Kahoot Eat, I think. And it's really creative. I really like them. So I think it's still going smoothly for the ECA Week, and despite the pandemic. So.
And another point to elaborate is actually, when you're talking about creativity, I really appreciate like sports clubs and service clubs, like these groups of students, because when you're talking about sports, how do you do sports online? I mean, if you're playing games online like FIFA or NBA online, then that would basically become esports.
Yeah.
It won't become sports. That's why clubs like volleyball club, last year and this year, they organized quizzes about the history of volleyball, about the rules and the dimensions. For example, they have a question about the dimension of your sports
Ground?
field.
I see.
Those are creativities that Josephians actually have, and we actually hope another mission and aim for the ECA committee is that we hope to bring out this creativity within students, to organize events and to bring out the leadership skills.
Yes, I'm sure everyone watching knows how us Josephians are like. We're very creative and we're well-rounded. That's why ECAs are such an important part of our school life. Now, to elaborate on that, let's talk about how ECAs have shaped, especially us lower forms, in terms of career and life planning, in fact. Because I, for one, as a lower form student myself, I think that ECAs have definitely helped shape what electives I wish to choose, and also give me a sense of that teamwork and accomplishment. So what are your thoughts on that?
Well, when I was small, I personally found out that I really like drawing. I like acting as well. Like, for example, taking part in drama. That was one of my ECAs in primary school. But then when I went to secondary school, I started to figure out I actually like doing maths. I like solving math problems, and also enjoy doing more graphical design, not to mention like some engineering, like those type of work. And that basically prompted me to, when I was in Form 3, which is your age right now, that prompted me to actually choose physics as one of my electives. Like when I was small, if I saw physics, I'd be like, man, physics, it's math again. 1 plus 1, how do you know equals to 2? But math says equals to 2.
Yes.
Well, ECAs actually totally changed my perspectives on these stuff. And actually, when you're choosing electives, I think joining more ECA in Form 3 actually helps you a lot.
So for me, I think joining ECA activities is really helpful to our electives choosing. It's actually because the ECA clubs and teams actually like shows you the fun parts of the subjects. Like for example, in science society and the biology society, they actually let you to do some fun activities that is actually related to subject. So it shows you the fun part of the subject, and it arouses your interest, and so that you can actually experience it yourself before choosing it, and then after you experience it, you can actually know beforehand that whether you like the subject or not. So I think ECA activities is a crucial part to our elective choosing.
Yes.
Yeah, so a lot of club and societies, they have brilliant activities to host, and yeah, so how do ECA team really brings them together and like provides a better overall experience?
Yeah, the
for
sort of
the
coalescing of
Yeah,
different, yeah.
Well, bringing together the ECA, like different clubs and societies within our school, we actually provide like a lot of different materials, and like for example, we have the ECA room which you can book. We also have stuff like cameras which clubs often need to use to shoot their product designs and souvenirs, etc. And also, if you require our assistance in promoting, you can actually, like through your chairman, you can actually WhatsApp me through groups or whatever means to get in contact with us. And because we are also like sort of like clubs are sort of following us or some sort, we take a more laissez-faire approach to stuff, and like the clubs will be actually telling us what they want, and we will help to fine-tune their ideas, or we will help to facilitate their ideas. For example, French club, I'm part of French club. I'm not an ex-co though, I'm just a member. And French club, the members wanted to learn French, and our school actually provided French courses before for non-Chinese students. But then because of the decrease in number in non-Chinese students, that's why the school decided to cancel this lesson and course and whatever. But because there's such a passion for French within the French club, that's why I actually proposed to the French chairman this year, why don't you actually like organize some French courses for our club members who join?
Yes.
And if you're afraid that sincerity is not enough, you can actually take like different DSE or exams for it.
Yeah.
And that can motivate students to actually work, and it's not just a play course.
You know, what Justin has demonstrated here is that these ECAs aren't just for academic purposes, but they also have a big role in our Josephian social life and how we interact with other people, especially our schoolmates, and even beyond school. So perhaps, Koby, you have something to elaborate on those social ideas?
Well, the ECA activities that the clubs hold actually enlarge our social circles and give us many opportunities to find friends with common interests and values. For example, like take biology club as an example, maybe. So they host activities for the students to a goal, and then people can meet there and do the stuff they enjoy, and the students can find themselves communicating with the people that actually have common interests and share interest in biology. So they get to know them, and they get to know them well, and since they have common interests, so the friendship between them and bonding between them is lasting longer, and it really helps our social circles and meeting new friends. Yes.
Yeah, so ECA team is so some of our viewers may not really know the history of ECA team or the origins of ECA team. So will it be better for Justin to maybe introduce ECA team to our viewers?
Well, ECA team, this concept of ECA team is actually a pretty new idea. It was only formed like last year with our currently Form 6 students, Fahim. He was previous president for ECAC. The origin why is it formed is generally because we found out that, for example, clubs and societies, they have difficulty in cooperating with each other. They have, or they aren't really willing to reach out to each other for collaborations. So we wish to have this platform to facilitate these collaborations. Another thing is also to talk about is because we've seen like currently SU's load in handling paperwork is getting a little bit too heavy. So we wish to stand in and help them a little bit to process paperwork and etc. We also help our different ECA teachers, for example, masters and like ECA masters and secretaries to process paperwork like that. But generally speaking, we are just here to assist the school, not to take part in any major roles. For example, like we're the backstage helpers in drama club's perspective.
Yeah. So to actually bring that topic back to ECA Week, which is the current event right now, it's quite an ambitious plan. What do you have any thoughts about, and why would you host this in the first place, actually? I'm sure all of you are interested in this.
ECA Week, what are our thoughts about it? That is a good question. So I think I have to say that every club and every team actually handed in their proposals and events they want to host, and it's going really smoothly. Like we've planned time slots for each of the clubs to choose, so that the time of the events won't crash, and it's running really smooth because we've planned a lot ahead of it. And I really like the idea that every club is collaborating and then cooperating together, so that we Josephians as members can have a joyful experience in the ECA Week. So yeah.
That's also hence the goal. Let joy engulf your senses.
Yes.
Which is a slogan for this year's ECA Week.
Yes.
So apart from ECA Week, have you got like any other activities that may bring like different club and societies together to bring on some very brilliant experience for our Josephian students?
I think before there was chairman proposed something called an ECA marathon. Basically, different clubs will send out their representatives and will be basically running a marathon. And within this event, or maybe it's a week, because it's not really settled yet, the details aren't settled, it's still in the planning process. We would basically be organizing tournaments. For example, you have board game clubs, you have esports, and you also maybe have some sports clubs that can join in. We'll organize tournaments, and this can also help facilitate, like create competition, well, not really competition, but competition is a bad word. It can help bring harmony within students and bring out their collective engagement, which is also an important role in ECA and that.
How about we talk about the leadership opportunities and all sorts of different aspects of hosting events, or even for members participating in events. How exactly do we feel? With the slogan, when joy engulfing our senses, that really brings a little bit of a shade of our life and how us Josephians really like participating in ECAs. Perhaps, Koby, you can talk more about it?
Wait, what?
Yeah, so like, from perhaps Tolly, you have some thoughts on how about us like in drama club. We've actually learned a lot from this, and how about let's apply it to other clubs. We have lots of different aspects of them.
Yeah, so we drama club, we really think about, we thought about an activity which is called a Culture Week. So it's basically a collaboration of different clubs to bring on
Okay, so maybe let's wrap it up with some thoughts from the ECA team and how all these different events. You see, like every club has their own event in ECA week, and it's very impressive. So, are there any logistical difficulties or challenges inside the ECA week planning or implementation?
Well, if I'd say that there's no difficulties, that I'd be lying I'll be lying straight to the audience. So I wouldn't say that. There's definitely difficulties, but difficulties in where it's actually planning, the whole planning process creates difficulties. For example, the plan for ECA week actually originated back in April this year or so. But then, because during April was actually the height and the peak of the second wave of COVID-19, we actually thought that COVID would die down by start of this school year, but it turns out it didn't. Like, life surprises you. What are you gonna do? But then we thought that if we do online activities, would that break the whole, or would that destroy the whole purpose of ECA week? But then it turns out that we were surprised again by clubs creating original ideas for their own activities, for their own online activities, which is even more impressive. And that really gave me, that actually gave me a shock a little bit. Because I wasn't really expecting this big engagement within clubs, and I was actually proven wrong. And this is the first time in my life that I was happy that I was proven wrong.
So for me, I think that the difficulties in handling ECA week is that actually we just like Justin said, we had a lot of planning and a lot of discussion about it, and there were different values that conflicted, and we luckily didn't have any big arguments, but we definitely had some conflicts. So, like for example, like you just mentioned, will online activities destroy the purpose of ECA week? So that is a very, very good and in-depth question, because what is the purpose of ECA week? The purpose of ECA week is to enhance our engagement in the activities of ECA. So we thought that without attending them physically, it would break the purpose of ECA week. But actually, holding online actually serves purpose as well, because we can still know about the events and subjects related to it. So yeah.
Tolly, do you have a word to add?
Yeah, so as ECA team really brings up every single clubs in society, it really helps each club in society to really collaborate with each other. It really facilitates this to happen. So ECA team is really important for SJC, and it really helps different clubs to promote their brilliant activities to us Josephians. And yeah.
So thank you very much for tuning into this time's Drama Club podcast. And thanks you again to the two guests today. And we'll see you next